Pro Group Management. Workers' comp that works for you.
Welcome to Nevada Newsmakers. The indictments in Southern Nevada over former and present county commissioners is great fodder for Nevada Newsmakers, and he's got the rundown.
Sam, as Clark County reels under the effects of federal indictments, what's the effect on Richard Perkins, Speaker of the Assembly? We'll talk to him today and ask him the tough questions. Sam?
And coming up on the Pundit panel today, John Gwaltney, Paul Enos, and Martha Gould. It's all coming up next on the all-new Nevada Newsmakers.
Nevada Newsmakers, brought to you in part by Charter Communication.
The Abowed family has an appetite for dialogue. Agree or disagree, have the conversation. All opinions are welcome. Since 1977, Adele's.
Catch us straight, dine at 8. Lucky you. Lucky you. Dance till 1. Have some fun. Lucky you. Lucky you. Taste the shrimp. Have a sip. Try the pool. Play it cool. At the Sienna Hotel Spa Casino. Lucky you.
The biggest risk your company can take.
Well, Barbara, you did very well on your interview.
Hiring employees can help your business get to the next level.
And your resume looks outstanding.
And it can also expose you to corporate crimes and costly lawsuits that can bring your company to its knees.
So, we'd like to offer you a position.
Before you hire another employee, hire the professionals at Employer Links. Call today to get our free CD-ROM, The Top 8 Risk of Hiring Employees.
If you own a business and want to maximize your company's potential, join the Retail Association of Nevada. Our membership benefits include the Nevada Retail Network Self-Insured Group, providing workers' compensation coverage that can lower your rates. That savings can go directly to your bottom line. We are an effective pro-business organization that lobbies on behalf of our business members. The Retail Association of Nevada, protecting Nevada businesses for 35 years. Call 882-1700 to see what we can do for your organization.
This is Nevada Newsmakers with Sam Shad, political analyst Ande Engleman on No Holds Barred Political Forum. Now, from the News 4 Broadcast Center, here's Sam Shad.
Richard Perkins is the Speaker of the Assembly, and we welcome him here today. Welcome.
Thank you very much for being here, Richard.
My pleasure.
There's been a lot of controversy lately, a number of different subjects we want to cover with you. Let's start with the double dipping issue, as the press in Las Vegas has termed it. You worked 19 and a half hours for the Henderson Police Department while you were Speaker, and you were paid both as Speaker and by the Henderson Police Department, right?
That's correct.
Do you not see let me put it this way. There were days I was sitting out in the hallway waiting for you to come out and make a statement. Were you doing police business at that time?
Oh, I don't think I was. You know, most of the work I did was at nights and on weekends. And you know, honestly, as this thing has come together, it shocks me that it's been an issue, primarily because I would have preferred to have just done the legislative business. But it was the chief of police who actually came to me and said, look, we run the police department for the fastest growing city in the country. Can you at least keep your hands in the mix and help me manage this department? And I agreed to do that at his request. And he very carefully watched the work that I did and made sure that I accomplished that. You know, growing up, my father always had 2 jobs to make ends meet. I just chose to work 2 jobs because of 2 jobs that I love.
You know, I have 19 jobs, so I certainly empathize with you with your situation. But as a member of the public looking at the situation, does that concern you that their perception is that there was a problem?
Oh, I think that the public's perception is always of primary importance, and I think that we have to look at that on a moving forward basis. I mentioned last week or the week before in Southern Nevada that I'll probably do the exact same thing next session. I just won't take any pay for it. It's the perception issue that we need to deal with, and I think we also need to look at how all public employees are treated in the legislature and have a consistent rule for all that serve. What worked in Henderson didn't work in other jurisdictions.
Don't you think it would make perhaps more sense, certainly as far as perception is concerned, if we didn't have so many public employees on the Government Affairs Committee to just rubber stamp what other public employees come in and ask for, and if we kept people that own mortgage companies and banks off Commerce Committee, maybe put those private sector people on Government Affairs and the public sector people on Commerce? I just think,
well, we need to remember that we have a citizen part-time legislature, and it's been an extraordinary legislature that served the state well, and I don't think we need to exclude anybody from the process. If there is a conflict, there is a way to deal with that. There's a disclosure, and I trust the public to determine whether or not somebody has done something right or wrong.
Well, let me ask you about campaign contributions. We've got these indictments, federal indictments on former and present county office holders going on in Clark County. And some of those bribes, of what the government is alleging, were in the form of campaign contributions. Now, Dean Heller's been wanting the right to go in and audit people's campaign contributions. These accounts have never been audited or looked at. Are you in favor of that or not?
Well, I think that they have a self-auditing mechanism now, but my books are an open book, and I'd welcome anybody to look at them.
You have how many accounts for your campaign contributions?
I have two. I have a leadership political action committee, and I have my own campaign account. But I think it's important to understand that these things broke because somebody broke the law, and they were caught at it. And anybody else who does it could be caught at it as well.
Jane Ann Morrison's reporting you have around $900,000 in your campaign.
No, that's not accurate. It's not accurate.
About how much do you have?
Somewhat significantly less than that.
About?
Significantly less than that.
Well, now how can we find this out if we can't see what you previously had in the forms?
I don't know exactly what I've got in those accounts, and those will be on the forms when I file them in January.
You know, when I talk to customers about how much money they want to spend on advertising, I usually say, well, is it between 100 and 500? What kind of range are we looking at here?
You know, we spend a lot of money during the legislative session because the state doesn't provide us with an account to run the office, and the Speaker's office has a lot of expenses. I use a lot of that money to run that office and have spent that account significantly down. I can't tell you honestly how much is in that account as I sit here right now.
Let's talk a little bit, and we're going to go into the next segment and talk about this. Actually, in fact, you know what? Let's take a break, come back, and we'll talk about what's going on in Southern Nevada and how it may impact you. We'll be right back on Nevada Newsmakers with the Speaker after this timeout.
Hi, I'm Dan.
And I'm Terry.
And this is Dan's Pizza and Parlor. Everything we make here is from scratch. Our fresh cut fries, homemade hamburgers made to order, fresh pizza dough made with 3 types of flour, and Terry's secret pizza sauce, and Dreyer's world famous ice cream. And if you have a sports team, your kids can really have a great time here. Oh! Dan's Pizza and Parlor on Victorian Avenue, just down the street from Great Basin Brewery next to Pyramid Highway.
Would you like to savor a Trento pork chop? Or maybe pasta rags with grilled chicken? Hugo's Tuscan Grill at D'Andrea is a celebration of color, flavor, and freshness. Each dish is created from natural, wholesome foods that is delicious and nutritious. Hugo's is a comfortable restaurant with breathtaking city views. If you enjoy great food and good company, visit us here at Hugo's. It's the best that dining can be. 2900 South D'Andrea Parkway in Sparks.
Welcome to Sushi Club, best sushi in town. The Sushi Club in Independence Square used the best quality products. The sushi is dynamite, and the service is just wonderful.
The Sushi Club is bigger and better. We have 11 sushi chefs on staff, and the service is great.
All your friends will tell you that Sushi Club is the best place for the best sushi.
Come join us for lunch or dinner.
The Sushi Club, 294 East Moana Lane in the Independence Square.
Now that's great sushi.
To experience the royal cuisine of India, you need some serious magic or simply transport yourself to India Garden, right here in Reno, where you'll discover Indian specialties refined over centuries. Sikh kebab, tandoori dishes cooked in our own tandoor oven, biryani specialties, curries, fresh-baked Indian bread, over a dozen vegetarian dishes, even dishes rare to India like dosa, South Indian-style crepes. India Garden off South Virginia near Sports West. We are India.
And now, back to Nevada Newsmakers with Sam Shad and Ande Engleman.
And back on Nevada Newsmakers with Speaker Richard Perkins. The revelations from Southern Nevada over the last several months, ending in the indictments this past week, of former and present county commissioners taking somewhere around the order of $400,000 in campaign contributions, in quotes, and flat-out bribes. How do you react to that initially?
Well, I'm disgusted by it, quite honestly. I've spent my entire adult life as a police officer and enforced the law, and have been in discussions with a number of the federal officials when they look to how does Nevada work, what does a city councilman do, a county commissioner do, state legislator, in their efforts to maintain public integrity. And it really is disheartening for me to see what's happened, and it's inappropriate, and obviously the people that have done wrong will get caught and they'll be punished.
Do you think that, as the Las Vegas Review-Journal and the Reno Gazette-Journal both said, that we've loused up 30 years of trying to put back together Nevada's image?
I don't disagree with that, but I think that we also need to recognize that this was a small handful of people relative to the overall number of elected officials in this state. And I think that I trust the voters to look at their own elected official in terms of the integrity that they show and the way they perform. These folks are not representative of the entire state of Nevada in terms of our public system, our elected system. And we'll just have to move beyond this. It's going to take some while to do that, though.
All right, they were all Democrats. How do you think this will affect the Democrats running for office in the next election?
Well, they were not all Democrats.
Oh, okay.
They were not all Democrats. I don't think this is a Republican-Democrat thing. I don't think it's partisan. I think that, again, the citizens can look at the individuals.
The chairwoman of the Clark County Commission, she's
No, former Commissioner Lance Malone
is a Republican. Okay.
So it's, I think the voters will look at their individual legislators and determine on their own. And again, the voters are very good at that. They're very astute at determining somebody's character, and I think that's what will happen in the next election.
You know, in the last big debacle of the legislature, which was the 300% increase in pensions, a lot of legislators didn't come back. And rightly or wrongly, they seem to be tarred with the same brush. You have now been connected to the double dipping deal here, and now with what's going on with the former and present county commissioners, are you concerned that you will have an attack either from a Republican or from another Democrat to go after you? Because it's so, and I am certainly not accusing you of anything. I'm just saying that in a situation like this, it is so easy for somebody who is funded to mount a campaign and tar everybody with the same brush.
Stan, that's always a concern, especially when some of these things have been misreported, particularly in Southern Nevada. Double dipping to me is taking two salaries and only doing one job. I did both of my jobs, and I'm proud of both of the jobs that I've done. I've opened up my books. All the I's are dotted, the T's are crossed. There is not a single question about the time that I put in and where I put it in. So I have no concerns about my record and what I've done. And again, I guess I just trust the voters to understand that as well. My career as a police officer, my career in the legislature have both been, I think the reputation that I've held throughout has been impeccable, and we'll run our own merits.
The Homeland Security bill, your bill, first of all, we had a controversy up here because some of the casinos didn't comply with it. And I guess we were reporting that there's no penalty in the bill, but there is a penalty, right?
Well, there's always a penalty for anybody who doesn't follow the law. The law says this. If this law is silent about what the penalty is, there's a default penalty in the law that captures that. But honestly, I don't know that there needs to be a penalty. I just think there needs to be a stronger partnership between public safety agencies and those casinos particularly that need to do that, and working together to get this accomplished. All
right, and quickly, because we're almost out of time, we've seen abuse of the Patriot Act now by the FBI, and in your Homeland Security bill, there is no checks and balances to prevent abuse. There's no requirement that they tape their closed meetings and put them on file with the Attorney General's office, or that they put records on file with the Attorney General's office, where in case of accusation it could be double checked. Would you be willing to add some sort of check and balance to that law in the next session?
This was our first shot at this and trying to accomplish something in a short period of time. But we do not have any of the pieces that are in the federal act where you saw the abuses.
Well, they are exempt from the open meeting law.
No, but we don't have the invasion of privacy issues that federal law enforcement have the ability to do roving wiretaps and the like. I made sure that we kept all of that out because I am a big supporter of civil liberties.
Let's talk about the Hatch Act for a moment here now, and last remaining minute or so. You've now decided to pay for any work done on the Hatch Act in defense of yourself out of your own pocket. Why did you allow the Henderson Police Department to pay for it up till now?
Well, it was actually the city of Henderson, and it wasn't on my behalf. The largest amount of money that was spent was to create a citywide Hatch Act compliance program for anybody. There is another elected official in the city of Henderson that this could affect as well. It's such an innocuous act that nobody knew anything about it. They actually did this so that they could learn more about the Hatch Act, so any future person that wanted to run for office, they could make sure that they weren't in violation. The city has a number of federal funds that were at risk if they had not done that. What I've asked them to do is go back and see what they did on my behalf. If there was something done on my behalf, I want to pay those bills. And the reason it's been so late is because the original hiring of those attorneys was to do this compliance program and not to defend me.
I want to thank you so much for coming on the program. I think it says a lot about you that you would actually come on and do this, and we appreciate it. Richard Perkins, Speaker of the Assembly. We'll be right back with the Pundits on Nevada Newsmakers.
Before you head to Carson, take care of yourself with a visit to Tamarack Junction. Catch a hot cup of coffee and the morning news on one of our 32 TVs and enjoy the best food in South Reno. Tamarack Junction, your junction for fun. South Virginia and Amati Ranch Parkway.
The Abowd family has an appetite for dialogue. Agree or disagree, have the conversation. All opinions are welcome. Since 1977, Adele's.
Your home is an expression of all things comforting and familiar. For custom storage, you can count on California Closets to provide quality, value, and design integrity. The process is easy, combining your personal style with our organizing expertise. We care about what matters most to you, making your home functional and beautiful. California Closets, simplifying home and life since 1978. Call today for your complimentary design consultation.
When you sign up for Wells Fargo free checking, you get more than free checking. You get the freedom to bank when and where you want. Wells Fargo, the next stage.
Make your daily commute easy with breakfast or lunch at the Tamarack Junction. Enjoy daily specials, super fast service, and South Reno's freshest morning meals. Tamarack Junction, your junction for fun. South Virginia and Amati Ranch Parkway.
And now, back to Nevada Newsmakers with Sam Shad and Ande Engleman.
And back on Nevada Newsmakers, lots to talk about today. Let's introduce the panel. Paul Enos, who's with the Retail Association of Nevada, one of the sponsors of this program. We're always grateful for that. John Gwaltney.
Good morning.
And Martha Gould. Welcome to you all. Let's start out with you, Paul. Your reactions to Speaker Perkins' comments.
Boy, you have to hit me with the tough questions.
That's our job today.
It's early on a Monday morning.
Ready.
Well, you know, I know we're talking about campaign contributions during the break and what a campaign contribution means. And as a lobbyist, I'd just kind of like to get this out there. When you give a campaign contribution to a legislator, it is not a quid pro quo. It is just for access. I mean, really, when we look at giving campaign contributions for people, it's because we want a legislator in there who's going to be open and who's going to be honest with us about their position on a bill. Those are the two most important tenets for us when we're giving a campaign contribution. It's not necessarily a quid pro quo. You're going to vote this way on this specific bill. Now, hopefully your philosophy of the legislator coincides with the philosophy of the interest that you're lobbying with, but it's never a quid pro quo.
Well, so wait a minute.
I have to say, I have a bridge I'd like to sing.
No,
now,
well,
that's how we lobby, and that's how we do it.
Now let's get this clarified. Let's say you're a lobbyist and you go in and you say to a lawmaker, if you don't vote for this bill, I'm never going to give you another penny.
Well, first of all, I think that's a bad lobbying technique. I don't know any lobbyists who can really get away, or who would even try to threaten.
But the question
or
is,
who should,
has
or
that
who should,
crossed
who
the
should
line
try.
to a bribe?
Well, I think that's crossed the line to
Absolutely.
a threat. I mean, that's
It's
unfortunate.
both a bribe and a threat.
Yeah, you're right, Margaret.
And it does exist, whether we like it or not. It does exist.
And I'm troubled even more by the idea that private funds are being used to run the Speaker's office. I
That's
heard the
disgraceful.
speakers say that we're utilizing funds that are coming from somewhere, I'm not exactly sure where, that will actually provide for staff, organization. I'm not sure what other costs are involved in that. And I'm not even sure whether anyone is auditing those type of funds to
No.
know where it comes from or where it goes.
You know,
That's depressing.
We have a reporting system. The problem is, and it goes back to something that was said earlier about the Secretary of State wanting to audit. It seems to me that that is a right and it should be done. We do have in place the system and the regulations that allows for closer scrutiny. It's just not being done.
And one of the problems with that reporting system, though, is it doesn't carry forth from the previous election cycle.
Yeah.
You can have such a huge war chest built up, and you don't have to report what you have in that account.
Well, when I ran for office once, and I do have to tell you, and that's why I disagree with you. I thought I knew something about politics until I ran for mayor, and it was interesting. That's about the only thing I will say.
Well, I mean, for example, Martha, I mean, did people say to you, if you support this position, if you publicly will come out and support this position, or if you'll do this, if elected, we'll give you money?
Not exactly. It was couched, shall we say, a little more tactfully, but the implication was loud and clear.
I just want to stick up for my profession for a couple seconds, and I know that there are some bad characters kind of in every field who really will kind of bring the name of that profession down. But as a lobbyist, our primary role is one of educator, and if I know that somebody is honest and they aren't bought and paid for by one side or the other, then it's that much easier for me to go in there and argue my case based on facts, as opposed to knowing, well, I can't talk to that guy because he's bought and paid for.
I'm sorry. Yeah, go ahead and finish.
No, that's go ahead.
I don't understand how a public employee can serve in the legislature at the same time, even if they take a leave of absence. If they're serving on Government Affairs Committee, they're going to get a call from their boss in the city of Wachusett and say, we need this bill, be sure you get this bill introduced and back it up. How can they not? How can they not?
Well, Andy, I tend to agree with you and disagree with you simultaneously, which is bothering me. Because frankly,
just remove one hand.
Yeah, right.
Because frankly, the biggest conflict of interest in the legislature is between attorneys, because they pass the law and they benefit from the law more than any other group of people. To castigate the public employees and say, because you have some interest in this, good grief, the attorneys have a much bigger interest than anybody else.
When you look at the number of attorneys compared to public employees, and you wouldn't think this in the legislature, it's so minimal.
It's like two or three. We only have 2 or 3 attorneys.
Yes.
We got 16 public employees.
Okay.
But wait a minute. First of all, remember we have a citizen legislature.
But 16 is 25%, and that's far more than our population.
Whoa. The bottom line is, when you have a citizen legislature, you need people in the legislature who understand the issues. And unfortunately or fortunately, and I like John, I'm, balancing on this one, sometimes the only people who really understand the issues are the public employees.
I'm sorry, Martha. I have to disagree with you. Trying to talk about business issues with people who
have never been in the private sector.
Exactly. It's a lot more difficult.
And conversely, people who've never been in the public sector.
But it's the people's business, the public sector, and they need to understand it. And if they can't understand it, then the public sector is doing something wrong.
But don't forget that 52 out of every $100 spent with the state come from education.
That's right.
And that factor is extremely important. And I hate to say this, but education is a very complicated concept. Frankly, the legislature did it so badly this time. If you're counting on public employees to do this, we ended up raising a great deal of money, putting it almost all the wrong places, and unfortunately it ran out the back door in the
The
wrong
issue, though,
areas.
is education issue is just as important to the business community as it is to anybody in the public
You're
sector.
You're right.
Because
development in this state if we don't have an educated workforce.
Exactly, and we
Period.
totally
The end.
understand that. And it's, you know, I think Ray Bacon, a lobbyist for the Nevada Manufacturers Association, I think is one of the best advocates out there from the private sector for education. If you ever have a chance to get Ray to talk about education, you know, you'll want to block out an hour or two.
Okay, let me go around the table one time here. We've got about 30 seconds left. Does Richard Perkins become damaged goods because of all these scandals that he could be tarred with the same brush?
Well, I really think it's going to be up to the voters of Henderson to decide that, and we'll see.
I think there is, I heard Pat Coward say that there is a perfect storm brewing in this state, and I certainly think that's true.
I agree with John. There is a perfect storm, but in the end, it will be the voters who will make the decision.
That's it. We're out of time.
All right. We'll be right back.
Lori Ann and the staff of St. Ives Florist invite you to a very special occasion. On Saturday, November 15th, you won't want to miss our 12th annual holiday open house and design preview from 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. The St. Ives family would love to share our magical wonderland with you and your family. St. Ives Florist, simply the finest, hopes your holidays are simply the warmest.
And I look forward to seeing you Saturday, November 15th at our holiday open house.
Atlantis is cooking up a party. It's every diner's paradise. Toucan Charlie's Buffet and Grill, voted Reno's best buffet by locals year after year. Experience the Mongolian barbecue, new Asian station, and sumptuous exhibition stations filled with fresh entrees, salads, and desserts. Try the Friday night seafood buffet and Sunday champagne brunch. Atlantis.
Hi, I'm Dan.
And I'm Terry.
And this is Dan's Pizza and Parlor. Everything we make here is from scratch. Our fresh cut fries, homemade hamburgers made to order, fresh pizza dough made with 3 types of flour, and Terry's secret pizza sauce, and Dreyer's world famous ice cream. And if you have a sports team, your kids can really have a great time here. Oh! Dan's Pizza and Parlor on Victorian Avenue, just down the street from Great Basin Brewery next to Pyramid Highway.
Nevada Newsmakers, brought to you in part by Charter Communication.
And certainly appreciate Speaker Perkins being on the show today.
He has guts. You have to give him that.
Okay, coming up tomorrow.
Carol Villardo on taxes. How far are we getting with these new regulations?
It'll be a hot show. Don't miss it. We'll join you next time.
Thank you for watching.